In my experience and the way I was taught to teach, you would open up the word, explain something, and then you would apply it. Now, application's good. I even have some other videos on how to offer good biblical solid application. You can watch those if you'd like. But here's the problem. People do not act on information. They act on conviction. They don't act on what they know. They act on what they believe to be true. Which raises the question, how do you get people to be convinced of the truth of something? Now, I want to talk to you today about our brains and how they work. So Chip and Dan Heath, in their book Made to Stick, highly recommend it. They make the argument that actually our brains are not like filing cabinets, they're actually like Velcro. Now, if you've ever looked at Velcro up close, one side, the soft side, is just a bunch of loops. And that's like our brains. They're ready to receive ideas that can stick to them. The other side are full of hooks. So I have a couple golf balls here with different amounts of Velcro and different grades of Velcro. And they make the argument, backed up by neuropsychology and brain science, that, okay, you can't do anything about this. The people you're trying to teach, their brains have a certain number of loops. And so you can't make someone's brain stickier, but you can make your point stickier. Now, how do you do that? You engage more senses in the learning process. So this golf ball has just a few pieces of the lowest grade of Velcro on it, right? It's not a very sticky golf ball. And if I throw it, if I backed way up and threw it, I probably could get it to stick some of the time, okay? And if I backed up more, I probably would be less successful and less successful. And what I think happens is a lot of teachers and a lot of teaching on teaching focuses on your throw. How can you make your delivery perfect? Now, that's helpful. That can be good. What else can you do to make your idea stick? You can actually make it stickier by putting more Velcro on it, so that even if you have a bad delivery, it's more likely to stick more of the time, because you've engaged more senses in the learning process. Right? Pardon the bad grammar, but the truth is, right, you can't make their brains hookier, but you can make your ideas stickier. Now, there's a lot of ways to do this. A common way is to do object lessons. I kind of talk about these as experiments. I think of it like chemistry class. You know, when you go and learn a concept in a lecture format, and then you walk back to the lab and you pour some chemicals together and watch them explode, and you see it happening in front of you. The more senses you engage in the learning process, the more likely not only is that idea to stick, but the more likely that idea is to move from the head to the heart. Because remember, people do not act on just what they know. They act on what they believe. And when you get to get your hands on a truth and see it happen, you are much more likely to act on it. This also does another thing. In every class, congregation, youth room, you are going to have a group of people called doers. These are students who are also known as common sense learners, but they're usually very kinesthetic type learners, and they won't actually even learn the truth unless they can get their hands on it in some way. And so if you want to reach all the people God has given you to reach, you need to create some kind of experiment. And so in my outline, this is actually the third piece out of 5. So you grab their attention, you reveal truth, and then before you apply that truth, you let them convince themselves of that truth by giving them some kind of experiment. So how do you create these types of experiments? That's what I'm going to be talking about in the next video. So click over and watch that. But if you're already doing this, I just want to encourage you to do it more. Every time you teach something, have some kind of object lesson, experiment that lets people get their hands on the truth. And they will not just remember it, but they will actually act on it. So thank you so much for watching. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you need other training resources similar to this, you can check out my website, makeyourmessagegreat.com. I also have there my go-to outline that I use every time I teach and some tips for putting that into practice. So have a great day and go and create a message that will change lives for good.